trim lines. And it's going to be solid ankle AFO trim lines, okay? We have solid, we have semi-solid or rigid, semi-rigid, and then flexible, all right? We're going to do solid. All that means is our trim line is going to be in front of the ankle or anterior to the malleoli. That way, that person's ankle we have complete control of it, okay? The further back our trim line, the more this thing will flex, so the patient has more control, okay? We're gonna do full control, we're gonna do solid ankle. So my trim line is gonna go anterior to the malleolus, which I can see is this buildup. And then what I wanna do is look at it and mark it straight up, okay? Don't follow my trough, because my trough kind of angles, all right? I'm putting this line straight up and down. Then what I'm doing is coming and encompassing the foot, go just distal to the met head, and then to the end of your calf, all right? Do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna go just anterior to the ankle, to the malleolus, and then I'm gonna go straight up the calf. Come down here, I wanna encapsulate the entire arch. Drop my trim line down. Very similar to your foot orthosis, right? All right? All right. So the only other thing I wanna do is I actually want a little bit of flare up on this proximal section. I don't want it just straight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring another line in front of this, and I'm gonna drag this down and kind of blend it into that line, okay? And then later, I'll just get rid of this one, okay?
Why do we want the circle line?
Huh?
Why do we want the line?
Because that's where we're gonna attach our straps. These things are gonna have straps on them. And so just more contact points for it. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Okay, so that's my trim line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the cast saw and I'm gonna cut this out around my trim line, just to the outside of that line. I'm not gonna cut directly on my line, because that's where I wanna grind down to. So I'm gonna cut in front of that line, okay? Thank you, ma'am. way around. Otherwise, you can crack the plastic. So you should be able to just take it and pull it right off, okay? And then we'll grind down and trim. So what you're looking to do is when you look at this, from this angle, these little flares should be even because you want them even around the person's calf. Easiest way to do that, I'll show you on the shoe machine and after we pull Carlos's. But we'll take it and we'll just grind it down at the same exact time on the shoe machine, okay? One thing to be careful for, and you saw how careful I was around the ankles, we don't want to dig in past our trim lines, right? We don't want to make any cuts whatsoever. Any cut should be outside of our trim lines. If you do make a crack in your ankle and then you try to take this off, you risk this thing snapping in half. Remember, this is polypropylene, it cracks pretty easy, okay? So you wanna, the two things you wanna check for is make sure you have no cut marks going, like jagged cut marks going in random spots. You wanna connect every line when you cut, okay? And on top of that, you wanna make sure everything is cut completely through, okay? All the way to the plaster, all right? And then this, we can take off and just throw it in the recycle bin, okay? Questions?
What are
Yes.
What are we doing with the?
The cast,
Yeah.
it's going to be graded by me and then you can get rid of it. So the way to get rid of it is you take it into the dumpster and you beat the pipe with a hammer. It'll crack the plaster right off of it. I'll show you guys how to do it.
Hit the pipe or hit the plastic?
Hit the pipe. The pipe will crack the plaster.
So when we grind, that's when we're gonna take it down to those lines.
To the trim line.
actual
Yep,
trim
and I'm going
lines.
to show you that after we pull Carlos's AFO. So we're going to pull his and then we'll come
So
back
for
for
now,
round
it's
two.
just important just to make sure your cut's all the way through and straight
Yep.
and all that, rather than making sure it's exactly
Correct.
following.
Yeah, we'll fix everything on the
Okay,
grinder.
gotcha.
Okay? And I'll do that demo after we pull yours.
Okay.
Okay?